So with the holiday here, we've got to do this quick because I want you to find these pumpkins. These pumpkins are adorable, not just for fountains, but there's so many other things I'm doing with them. And I'm trying to talk fast because I want you to be able to find them. I got mine at Walmart. You can probably find them at any Halloween store, as well maybe Target or who knows, whatever store you've got around. These are the pails the kids use for trick-or-treating. And they have been wonderful. Now, I am setting these up as solar fountains around here, but I'm also setting them up in places where I have no outlets, and I want it to run even at night because I love the sound. And in the morning, I want the birds to find it at 6 in the morning when they get up. And we can do this. This video is going to give you so many tips and tricks and ideas on not just setting up a pumpkin, but any fountain you want for the birds in your neighborhood, because it's just wonderful to get up in the morning, watch the hummingbirds, watch the chickens and the dogs and everything. You know what? Let's get right into how to make this so you can make a fountain too, whether it's a pumpkin or something else. Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California. We're going to get this pumpkin built. I'm trying to do as many pumpkins as possible because it's Halloween. And this is the only time we can get these buckets. These are trick-or-treat buckets. And then, of course, people use them for different things. I have been using these for fountains, and just think, when you turn it around and use the other side, you could put these in your garden as planters as well as water fountains, and it's a vegetable. Is that not cute? Let's get this fountain together because this one's different than the other one I put up. The first thing we're going to do is get the handle off because I don't need the handle. So we're going to cut those off and just get it all ready to go. Okay, so we got the handle off. Now I am going to display this one this way. So I'm going to have it set up all through Thanksgiving and probably all through Christmas, through winter and everything. Then I got this bowl. I believe I got this at Dollar Tree. You can get a bowl anywhere. All the stores carry it. This one I checked fits really nice. It could even be bigger. Bigger is good. There's one other thing I don't have here. You know what? We're going to do this one differently. I didn't bring my soldering iron. And I'm going to try something else today and see if we can do this without a soldering iron. So we've got this, and then we've got pumps. Let's talk about the different pumps. This is a solar fountain kit. It comes with other sprayers and stuff, but all I use is this part. This needs the sun, this goes in the water, and of course you can use any type of tubing or straws, and I use a lot of different straws, jumbo straws. This one will need sun, at least a good portion of sun. Now this one is a USB. You don't need electricity. You can set this in the shade. You can set it anywhere you want. And all you need is some sort of power bank like you have for your phone. And you plug it in. Now they also make the solar ones. Let me tell you something. I have tried the solar ones and they don't charge like they say they're going to do. They say you can put them out in the sun. They'll continue to charge and you can go for weeks on end. No. It seems like it needs to charge without being plugged in. And I have done that and I've never myself gotten a full charge. They're okay, but use them as a regular power bank. Charge them up like you would a regular power bank. Plug it into the wall, charge it up. And this one I believe is a 20,000. I think this one's a 10,000. The 10,000 will last you for about 2 days. And I have found the 20,000 on pumps will last me 3 days, sometimes even longer, but it depends. Like this one's got a light. So it kind of depends on the pump itself. All of them are a little bit different and it depends on how much power it's got. Either way, get 2 of these solar power banks, whatever type you want, plug it in so you have one ready and you can swap it out or unplug it at night and then it will last longer. Let's get this set up. Now I'm going to put this in there. And I'm going to display it this way, so I'm going to see if we can cut this. I haven't done this before. Should have safety gloves. Oh, I can. So I'm going to make a little notch in this. Now what this notch is going to do, and we can use just the scissors, is it's going to allow for my cord to come out. So when I've got this in here, I can still put the plate on top, and it sits nice and flat. The next thing we're going to do is I need a hole in here. And this is where I usually use my soldering iron, and this is no joke. I actually forgot, but I've got this little scissors. If it doesn't work, I'll go back and get a soldering iron. And see if I can get the scissors in here, and if it doesn't, I will have to get the soldering iron. You know what? It is not going to go. So I don't know if I can reach it. Hold on, let me move everything. So I'm going to make a hole in this in a minute for the straw. But in the meantime, we can still work on the straws. Now I buy different types of jumbo straws and they're all slightly different. So these are still, see how loose they are? I'm going to set it up with this one, but I may end up using a solar. It's the same way we're going to do it. So I'm going to go with green because I think it will look nice with this. And I'll probably use this one. But I'm going to cut this one. I could cut any straw I want. So let's get a couple of these cut into pieces. I'll cut 2 pieces because I think I'm going to need 2. Now what I do with this is I want to make sure I get this heavier. Now let me tell you something. This is loose. You can use painter's tape. I could take painter's tape if you don't want to cut up straws or you're short on straws. And you can wrap it around, but you don't want to go past the nozzle because it could block it. Painter's tape is amazing. I use it all over the garden. And with painter's tape, am I going to do this one with painter's tape? I was going to do it with a straw. If you put it on when it's dry, it will stay outside beautifully. But you'd wrap it around. I don't know if I want to use painter's tape. And then, just because I've already cut the straws, you can put this on. Let's see. Okay, so now we would just slide. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should. Okay, so normally what I would do with this one, I'll show you on here because this is really loose. You would slit these completely open. I want you to see this. See how it's slit open? And then you would wrap it on and you'd put a couple of these on. Then when you push on your straw, it will make it snug. I'm not going to do it now that I've got the painter's tape, but this is the way it would be snug. So we're not using this right now, so I'm going to set this aside. That's how you would do it. But today, since I did this while I was talking to you, we're going to go ahead and use this. I could put a little more painter's tape. You know what? I don't need it. But if I needed to, I could put a little bit more. Painter's tape is non-toxic, and you can use it for fountains. So now we've got this. Let's see if this is hot enough, because all I need to do is make a hole here. Yeah, I think it is. I just have to be careful. I usually bring a melamine dish, and I don't have one because melamine does not melt. So I'll see if I can find a place to put this while it cools. Now, I didn't bring a mask with me either. If you're doing this in the house like I'm doing, which you should not do it in the house, I usually do try to wear a mask. So I'm not going to breathe. We need to make the hole big enough for the straw. I love using a soldering iron. It's my go-to tool. I don't know if you all remember, but I started using a soldering iron many, many years ago. People thought I was crazy. And I would watch all these videos from all over the country, all over the world. And they were all sitting there heating up their nails and making things like in India and different places like that. And then all of a sudden, I think they started watching my videos because all of a sudden they got themselves power banks or power units like I've got. Oh, it fits. Look at that. And everybody suddenly started using a soldering iron. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make a lot of holes in here because I want to make sure the water goes back inside. We're going to do it right in the middle because remember, we want to make sure the water goes back into the pumpkin. And you're better off to have too many holes than not enough. I think that's enough because water's going to go back where I made the hole with the straw maybe too. Let's get a couple more. You can always go back if you didn't make enough and you can make a couple more. Let me get this unplugged. This is my big go-to. It's the tool I use everywhere. I don't have my stand, so we're going to have to be very careful that it sits in a good spot until it cools down. All right. Now what we're going to do, it's real simple. I think we're done. Oh, no, not quite, but almost. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put that in there. And then I'm going to put the plate. Oh, please tell me I made it big enough because I tested it with, yes. And before you put anything outside, wash it. Okay, so right now this is the way it's going to sit. This could get plugged into a power bank or whatever I want. I can switch it with the solar, but I want something else because it's really not set up for hummingbirds. Hummingbirds want something on the top. So I bought this set of poppets or fidget toys, and I'm going to go with the round one because it's going to fit perfect. It won't overflow. See, it will go back into the bowl. So let's see if I can do this with these scissors. And I'm going to cut the top off, and I can lower it down because I really want this for the hummingbirds. Now, if you're doing it this time of the year and you don't have hummingbirds, then you don't need it because the birds will come in here and bathe, your regular birds. They absolutely love these things. Let's see if I can get a hole big enough for my straw. They don't melt good with the soldering iron, so I usually use a scissors and get enough cut out. I'm going to have to go through some of the holes I can see. Scissors really cuts this easy. And I'm not even sure, you know, how, I guess people just sit and pop it and it makes them, it comforts them because it's an anxiety toy. Oh, maybe I should use it. But I'm going to make the hole. You know what? I don't need to make the hole. You can make a few slits. So now we've got it, that's going to sit in there just like, oh, it's a little lopsided. See, I should have been more careful. So there's different ways I can do it. But right now we're going to pop this on. And my goal is to have it like this, but we could bring it all the way down. Now, if we bring it all the way down, it's going to overflow and go back inside the bowl there. Or if I wanted to, I could bring it up this way, and I could probably support it. I haven't thought about that. With a couple other straws. I'm not sure because I don't think the birds are going to go in there. I think I'm going to lower it. And this way it will go back inside. I may need to make some more holes. The water will come up through here, or we could cut it and make sure everything goes back. We want to make sure there's no seal on this. The other thing we can do is I could put stones, and that could help hold it up. Now it's a little above. That's what we're going to do. We're going to put it like this. The water is going to flow here. It's going to go back there, and the hummingbirds are going to come take a bath all over the top. Is that not adorable? We're actually done. So if I want to use solar, I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow because the sun is going down. And if I wanted to use this, I could go plug it in. But I think I'm going to wait till tomorrow and plug it in. But we want to get this outside. Is that not festive and cute? Look at that. Now this one has enough room for multi-hummingbirds. So this is really going to be a lot of fun. Now the other thing with this one is this can be solar. You can buy these solar panels and you plug this in instead of the battery. Now I always have the links underneath the video here. You have to go into the description, hit more, and then more again, and you can go through all the different links of the products I use. This is not endorsed by any product. These are the products that I buy and use for my fountains and the animals and birds around here. Which way? I'm going to look and see. Okay, it goes this way. Nope, nope, goes this way. Okay, so now you would put this out for the sun, and you've just turned this into a solar fountain. The other thing is you can get splitters, and you can run 2 fountains on one of these because these are powerful enough to run 2 fountains. I've actually run 3. And the other thing I said, you can use your power banks. This is not normally the one I use. My other ones are all being used outside. Come on, open up. And you would plug it in, and it's humming. So if it had water in it, it would go. And now you can use this without electricity, and you can use it and plug it in with the sun. So we'll get this thing out tomorrow. And again, the other straws you can get, they make these flexible straws now. That works out good too, because a lot of times they really push on good and tight. So you can do that with that as well. So whatever straw, whatever tubing you want to get. Some people have said they couldn't find tubing. You can get it at the hardware store. If not, find your flexible straws. They're really cheap. Or go ahead and use the jumbo straws for that. Let's unplug this because it's humming away and I don't want my pump to be humming dry. Let's get this thing set up outside, and we can do it differently. We can raise it up if we want to. We could build up some more stones if we want it higher. And then if we leave it like this, you'll have all the small birds, not just hummingbirds, taking a bath on the top. So let's get this out and let's see how much they like it. So of course, before I put it out, I changed my mind. And here is what I'm going to do with this. I save peanut butter jars. They're clear. I cut off the top where the lid was, and I'm making a hole big enough for the straw here. I also notched out the side, so when water goes down on the bottom of the tray, it will go straight down into the pumpkin. Now the straw fits. All we have to do is take the Pop-It toy off. We put this on top, and this is going to work much better because once I put the Pop-It toy on top, it's going to be stable. So even if a big bird landed on it to take a bath, it's not going to wobble anywhere. Now we are ready to set this up outside. So I ended up putting it outside with a battery in the evening so I can see who came to it first thing this morning. And to my surprise, they all start coming to it. 3 hummingbirds at a time. This is on my Wise Cam. I don't usually use that to do videos because, well, you can see the quality isn't as good as my regular camera. But if you don't have a regular camera, sometimes this is all you've got. This is beautiful. So I got to get up in the morning, check the camera, and see at 7 o'clock, even earlier, all these hummingbirds were coming to use the new fountain. And hummingbirds are really brave. I'll show you some of the house finches that are not as brave when they find something new. Now, this is when the sun came up with my regular camera. Now, I am very happy I changed the top of that toy with a peanut butter food container. Now, you can use anything. You could use a water bottle, anything you want that you've got that you know, from leftover from food, that's food quality. It works perfect. And look how beautiful this is. Oh, they just love this. Now, I know this video is a little longer than usual for a tutorial, let's say, on making a hummingbird bath. But I want to go over a few more things. If you can't find these fidget or Pop-It toys, you can use like a Lego board, and you can get those at Dollar Tree. It can be a small one, a big one. They're very hard to cut. You also can use a food container lid if you wanted to. Let's say a peanut butter jar cap turned upside down, so the lid is up like this. It will fill with what, a ½ inch of water, and the hummingbirds will love it. There's a lot of other things we can use. You have to use your imagination and think of different things you can put on top. There's other things I'm going to show you where we can use that nobody's been using, but you can use a lot of different things. Now, this is what happened in the morning also. This house finch who's been coming to the other pumpkin looked at the new one and thought, wait a minute, this is not the same. It had something else on the top. It was smaller. Look at this little scaredy cat. Oh, do you use cats with birds? But you get the idea. The hummingbirds just loved it right away. They love the soft rubber feel. And you won't be able to use a soldering iron on this. It is very strong, and it will not melt until it's about 800 degrees. So you will have to use the scissors when you're using these silicone type rubber toys. But look how he looked and waited to see if the hummingbirds were going to get swallowed up by the new fountain. Finally, she decided she'll go ahead and try it. And lo and behold, there were so many other house finches that came this morning. I literally had hundreds of videos, and I had to go through them with my photos because I love doing photography. And I picked out, well, I think personally some of the ones that I like the best. You're going to see me doing a few more pumpkins, hopefully, before Halloween is over or Thanksgiving, because these are fantastic. So if you've got the ability of getting some of these pumpkins, grab them, because I think they're going to look really pretty on display in the garden, growing plants in, which is another thing I'm doing with them. And I've got one more project to do with these that is not a fountain, but just the colors and everything. I will be leaving this out all through the winter because it's just too pretty. And if it looks nice in the spring, hey, I might grab this and put it in the vegetable garden. Why not? A fountain for the birds to come into the vegetable garden to take a bath. I think it looks cute. I like it. It's my garden. I can put what I want in it. But I'm just trying to give you ideas, get you to think out of the box, and make some fountains for your local birds, whether it's hummingbirds or any bird. So tell me your thoughts. I'm going to read your comments. Remember, your comments keep me going, and it makes my mind just churn and think of new things. So with that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye.